All right, community fireworks. We're going to do this just like we did last year. Judy and I are pretty confident that last year the 38,050 is going to be what it will be the same as it is this year, based on our conversations. We don't have a formal contract yet, but we want to keep this moving forward. So what we're hoping is that we can get approval today to up to $40,000 based on the same funding formula. And that's what it was last year. And if it were to go to 40, you can see that's a pretty nominal increase. But I still think it's going to be under the 40. And like I said, the information that Judy got last Monday, right before she left, is that the contractor thought it would stay the same. But we said, we'll believe it when we see it, so we're still waiting for the contract to come. But it does help if we can get the board to approve it today to up to the 40,000, then that just keeps the behind-the-scenes things rolling, so we can hit our July 4th. Yes.
So I got that amount in the budget for Lake Town Township, but I didn't get approval to spend it without coming back to the board and getting permission. And I think it's right now 4-1 against.
Okay, interesting.
I'm the one for, I got 4 against. So you might have to take that into account.
Very nice. Well, that makes things a little bit more difficult, but
Sorry about that. I wasn't very persuasive. It's my fault.
well, I'm planning on swinging by to your working group session next week on the 2nd. Maybe that's a topic I can bring up. Okay. All right, but as this board is concerned, what I'm looking for is a motion to approve up to 40,000 for the event.
I guess I have a question. Was that 4-1 against just the fireworks, or 4-1 against your total budget?
4-1 against not just the fireworks, but we have a bunch of things that are called contracted services, which are where we pay Lakeshore Advantage and other entities who provide services that are not necessarily direct to the township, but have an impact on our residents' lives. And there are 4 people on the board who don't think we should support things that are not direct for the township, but in fact just make the quality of life and make it a better community.
Okay, so that's 4-1 against the entire payment to the MAC.
I took that out of contracted services because the MAC actually does provide services directly to the township. So I got that on a different cycle. But I had to break it out, just like I broke Mandy and Lakeshore Advantage out, because Lakeshore Advantage provides. But things like the legal assistance in Allegan County, mediation services, things like that, those were all things that my fellow board members oppose spending money on.
And I guess my second question, Jason, is this 40,000 included in the total budget for the MAC, or is this a separate line item?
That's a separate line item. This
Okay.
is a whole separate piece. Even though we do it every year.
Okay, so it's an additional allocation for each one of the
Yep.
the members
Yep, over and above dues.
over and above dues.
Yep,
So if they back out, then the cost for everybody else goes
Is that-
up.
correct.
Yeah.
I'm going to try again.
All right.
Okay.
The county can kick in.
Yeah,
Why not?
we're used to kicking in. Yeah, that's what we do.
All right. Well, I'm still looking, I think, moving forward, it'd be nice for this board to kind of,
Yeah, we don't have a motion on the floor, but from a city standpoint, if that happens, I think I could go back to Holland City Council and make the argument that the fireworks are important enough for the people of the city of Holland for us to make up that difference.
I'll buy you lunch if you do that.
I would be willing to go back to my body and say, it's worth it for us to do that this year, and then we would put pressure on your constituents to say, hey, next time you come to Collin Park to watch the fireworks,
there'll be a fee.
well, not that there'd be a fee, but hey,
Yeah.
just so you know, yeah, Yeah, but I would, from my perspective, I would be willing to go back to my board and say, I think it's worth it for us to carry that extra weight.
We do have a money machine that we can flip on and just print it out of the county if you want.
Yeah.
Well,
Still looking for a motion.
I still think, yeah, I'm still looking for a motion. I think that's maybe the best way to go, unless you guys are thinking of kicking it down to next month. But like I said, it just does help if we have this in our back pocket, then we can keep moving forward on the contract and writing things up and giving folks the green light that we're moving forward, as opposed to saying, well, the board hasn't approved it yet. But
For clarity's sake, are you willing, would the city take that whole amount? Or
No, I would not be interested in going back to Holland City Council and say, let's cover that whole
Okay,
amount.
you're saying
I
that
would
would
say,
get broken up
I
into
would say
small
if
sections.
everybody else is willing to take that proportionally, but then I would certainly like every person in Lake Town Township to know that, guess what? Your board isn't interested in supporting this, and embarrass the heck out of that board. I would be willing to lead that charge as well.
go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, these are the community fireworks. This is something that we do as a community together, and I appreciate you being the one, I really do. But this is a community thing that we do together. And I've been vocal in the past that people think these are the City of Holland fireworks. And I've been really vocal in the past that these are not the City of Holland fireworks. These are community fireworks. It's something we all do together.
Yeah, that's-
And I think it's really important that everybody knows that we do this stuff together. We do this together. This is really important that we do this stuff together. And I think it's important that when we do stuff together, we chip in. And when you look at the numbers, those numbers are based on who we are and how many people there are. And I think it's important for all of us around this table to say to the people that we represent, this is an important thing that we do together. We all come together on the 4th of July and celebrate who we are. And yeah, it's putting stuff up in the sky. But when part of us don't want to participate together, okay, that's great. But I think that the people that we represent ought to know that some of us aren't participating in that. And I don't want to not go forward when a small part of us don't want to do something. But I think that small part that don't want to do something ought to be made, the people that they represent ought to be made aware of that fact.
I know we're talking about fireworks, but I guess the question is, are the fireworks a victim of something else that's inside of your budget? Or do they not want
I
to
put
pay
the
for
money,
fireworks?
the money's there. I put the,
But do they not want to spend it because it's grouped in to something else that they don't like at all? Is it, they just don't want
it's
to pay?
just everything that is not a direct benefit to the township as an entity is something that they oppose spending on. Things that are about being community. It's about supporting your residents when they're having a child custody battle or all kinds of things like that.
I mean, I would think that they benefit a lot by this display. So I don't quite understand the thinking, but yeah.
There's a group within the township that just believes that for 35 years we had one manager who seemed to run the township on his own and spent money where he wanted to and didn't listen to, in their minds, the citizens. I actually disagree with that whole analysis, but that's where their head is. And so what they want to do is stand up in public, say, we're fiscally responsive, we're not going to spend your money on fireworks, even though it benefits the entire community.
Yeah, their restaurants, get used and, yeah.
We don't have any restaurants.
That's probably why I don't eat out there.
An opportunity for us to show that there are not walls between our borders.
Right.
And that we freely flow between, and we are a community, that even though that we are separate governmental entities, we as a group are one big council of governments that do all work together and want to work together. And this is a very visible sign of that. And I'm a little bit passionate about this particular thing because I think it's a really visible sign of that. But yeah, and I would really love the people of Lake Town Township to understand that as well.
I think most of them
it's a
do.
bad road to go down.
I actually think most of the people in Lake Town support the spending that we do on these contracted services, but they're not as vocal as the ones that don't. So I'm going to invite you to Lake Town. You are so much more persuasive than me about this subject.
And I fought the same battle at the library when I was on the library board, that there were some townships that weren't interested in contributing to the library, and the library actually cut off the library cards to those township members, that the township was not contributing with the tax dollars. That happened one cycle. That happened one tax cycle. When the citizens of those townships were not allowed to use the library and were asked to pay directly for a library card, boy, did the township representatives hear about that. Suddenly, the next tax cycle, they were paying for it again. And I think sometimes that's all that has to happen, is that the residents need to hear that their elected representatives are making those kinds of decisions. I'd be happy to come and talk to your board about that, about how important that is, because I really think it is.
Well, that's not a lot of money. I bet two of the businesses in Lake Town, they just kicked that money in like nothing, so that ain't that much money, so.
You want to write a check, John?
I don't live in Lake Town, so.
Well, the road commission's gonna make sure that the snows are plowed. For July 4th.
Okay, so you need a motion?
I'd
Yeah.
like one.
Yeah, I'll make that motion for you.
All right, got a motion, is there a second? All right, is there further discussion? All right, no further discussion, all in favor, respond by saying aye. Aye. All right, opposed, same sign? All right, motion carries, thank you so much.